7, 8. It could have been a 9. You remember when they beat 9-0 the other
day? 9 there before.
They had loads of chances. I mean, they were at the back. Look, obviously he's got problems there, Russell Martin, and can he rectify it in a couple of 3 days? He actually thought that they played quite well the other night. I don't know what game
he was going to say that in the press, isn't he? But we'll come to our score predictions after we've heard from this wonderful gentleman, Martin Saunders, Southampton FC podcaster and social media broadcast. He's tweeted 2 hours ago, which I'm going to read. This is obviously recorded on a Sunday, but he said, I really do worry about Tuesday night. The fact confidence will be so low and the manager wanting to play out from the back, you really will need a plan B. Surely, I can't see how they play the same way. A better start is an absolute must, Mr. Martin. How are you?
I'm okay. Just about got over Friday night, but what a horrific night at St Mary's. It was terrible.
Yeah, and you had a few of those, to be fair. So
yeah, we've had the last 2 games we've conceded 9 goals in 2 games. We conceded 16 in 6. Unfortunately, football's a results-driven business, and already we have a manager under pressure. We have a tough game with you guys coming down on Tuesday night. You'll be relishing playing us right now. Confidence is at an all-time low. Very, very young squad of players. 2 centre-halves that played the other night. Their confidence will be shattered. Shea Charles and Hayward Bellis both had a pretty torrid time, but the team set up so badly. They look poorly coached at the moment. Really? I don't think talking to people in the game, I'm not sure he has the players that he requires to do what he wants to do. And the players that he's got don't really want to play the way he wants to play. It was clear to see.
You won't have heard it, but earlier in the show, Rich called Russell Martin massively overrated, that man there. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's all about, talks about stats. I was quite impressed with what he said.
I'm a bit biased, Mike, because he did used to play for Norwich.
Well, of course you are. But it's a fair point, you know. I mean, it's not gone as well as he would have wanted, and it's hard implementing that system, though, isn't it, Martin? Really?
Yeah, and he's got some good players there. I think he's got quite a good group of players, really. He's managed to keep hold of Kyle Walker-Peters, who I think is a fantastic right back. He should be playing in the Premier League. He's kept hold of Shea Adams. He's got Tilemana as well, the winger, but he doesn't like wingers to go past people. This is a boy that wants to run at defenders and use pace. They brought Ryan Fraser in. He's a player that wants to run at people. Russell Martin doesn't want wingers that run at people. So I just think it's a mismatch of manager and players, and it's panning out that way. I'm alarmed at some of the goals we were conceding the other night. You guys would have watched it, and that 4th goal summed up everything about us right now. It was 0-0-10, the setup. You pretty much had 10 of our players in the final third of the field. It was embarrassing, really. We're at this moment in time, we're probably the laughing stock of that division at the moment, and we're playing one of the teams that have come up and done similar to what we did when we come from League One many years ago. Got winning mentality, good manager, hard to beat, good team spirit, good spine of the team. I think we're in for a really, really tough day Tuesday night.
Why's it gone a bit pear-shaped in mine? Because the only other 90 minutes I saw of you, I saw the Leicester game, was when you went to Sheffield Wednesday on the opening night, that Friday night. And I know you had Ward-Prowse and you still had Teller. Obviously, they've both gone for big fees. But you looked a decent side, and Adams comes off the bench, doesn't he, and scores the winner. That Adozie, I thought, was a really bright-looking player, real good talent. Him. Yeah. So I can't see in the space of time where we've played 6-7 games, you've gone from that performance to what I saw Friday.
Yeah, we started quite well against Sheffield Wednesday. We had a really good first half. The following game was at home to Norwich. And it was just end to end, 4-4. We could have lost the game easily. They had so many chances to bury it. They just weren't really quite clinical enough to finish the game off. We then went to Plymouth, newly promoted side, just about got away with it there. I thought we did okay, didn't play outstanding. And then the home game against QPR would be pretty. Yeah, they'd be disappointed not to walk away without the 3 points. I worked for Asmir Begovic, the goalkeeper, randomly, of all things. And even we spoke many times since, and he was like, we were really disappointed not to walk away with 3 points because he felt that they had the chances to snatch it, but they weren't clinical that day. But we got carved open against a side that would probably struggle against relegation. And then going to Sunderland like we did and playing like that there was a lot of damage done that day. I think there was a lot of damage done. Confidence is at an all-time low now.
Yeah, it does seem it, and obviously you're adjusting to life in the Championship, which is a very tough league in its own, its own right. Is it that along with the style implementation? You mentioned in your tweet there, Martin, about a plan B. Did managers like Russell Martin really know a plan B?
No, I don't think he does have a plan B. It's pretty evident the other night that they continue to do the same thing. They're making so many mistakes, sort of in possession of the ball. But the one thing that I find a bit alarming is that people don't want to put a foot in. There's not a bit, in midfield. Sometimes you just got to get a foot in and show a bit of willingness to get back if you lose the ball and a bit of fight. And he didn't have that the other night. But he won't change his ways. I think the Swansea fans have all warned us that he won't change his ways, that he continue to do the same thing. But I think when you've conceded 9 goals in 2 games and confidence is low and you've got a young group of players, a young goalkeeper that's struggled with confidence, the fans are on his back, 2 young centre-halves under 20 years old, I think it's a recipe for disaster. And and that's what our owners have done. Our owners have been so adamant to buy young players and not experience. You look at Leicester the other night, they had Harry Winks in midfield, Yannick Vestergaard at the back, Jamie Vardy. They win the league. I honestly think they win the league. Is it Mavididi, the guy on the left side for them? Yeah. Oh my God! If you have players that want to hug the touchlines against us, we're easy to play against because the fullbacks tuck in and you just go in behind. How he went from the Sunderland game to the Leicester game and not learnt the lessons, I find it alarming. Maybe the international break caused us issues, but everyone keeps saying on Twitter, you've got to remain patient. It's early in the season, I know, but I think as a football fan, you have to start asking questions when your side have conceded 16 goals in 6 games.
Yeah. Was he the first choice in mine? Was he first choice for Southampton's board, or were there other names in the mix?
Maresca was on the list, apparently. They wanted. I think they spoke to him and he didn't fancy it. And obviously chose Leicester, but I think he was one of their top names. Obviously, they paid a lot of compensation to get him here. They've given him a 3-year contract like they did Nathan Jones. So I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. And look, I don't want to hit the panic buttons because we've only played 6 games, but I just think the manner of the way we're playing is a little bit alarming. And if you could come to St Mary's, which is a place we don't win games, we struggle at St Mary's. In the last 12 months, we've won 3 home league games.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been Chelsea last August, Leicester in March, and QPR a couple of weeks ago. That's the only league wins we've had.
Has it all gone pear-shaped since Hasenhüttl left?
Since Sport Republic come in, really, the new ownership is... And then once Hasenhüttl went, he lost his way a bit end of last season. And then just the decisions made last summer were poor in the way they recruited players. They went for this young philosophy of young players and didn't get enough experience, and they got found out quite quickly. And then Nathan Jones took them backwards, and the damage was done over 3 months, and you were never going to recover after that World Cup break. It was just too much damage done, and it was just an uphill battle. But sometimes you need an experienced manager that's used to getting teams promoted, don't you? You could say that Maresca hasn't done that until now, but he's worked under one of the best managers in the world.
Yes.
And that's why they're doing what they're doing. But Leicester were good the other night, I've got to say.
I don't like all this negativity, Martin. I don't like this. Is dangerous because
it's a trap game, isn't it? Now I'm thinking this we could rock up here and do well, but all right. People are going to be worried at home about, you've got some good players. Mentioned them.
Got some really good players, yeah.
Yeah. What's the strengths of the Southampton? You mentioned the weaknesses and how it's gone a bit pear-shaped. What's the strengths? Who have Town got to really look out for and hope we can stop from playing to really achieve anything out of this game?
Well, up until Sunderland's, Adam Armstrong had looked fairly decent. He looked like a man that was going to start to score goals in the division. Looked like he found his level again. He's been given the captain's armband since Jack Stevens got injured. So it was interesting to see that he's obviously fond. He's very fond of him as a player, so he's a first name on the team sheet. I would have said Silamana, but he got sent off the other night, so he won't be available. So you spoke about Samuel Dozie, young winger. I think he picked up a knock the other night as well. He come off, but he's been really good. He's a good player. Ryan Fraser started quite well for us. He's a wide man. You probably know all about him. You've seen him at Bournemouth and Newcastle.
And Ipswich.
Was he Ipswich? Was he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah. So he's not a bad player, but like sparks at the minute. Young Shay Charles that played centre half the other night is more of a midfielder. He's a really good player on the ball. I don't think he's necessarily a centre half, but he's a really, really good central midfielder. I would have said Kyle Walker-Peters, but he had a mare like the other night.
Where's he been playing Armstrong? Where was he playing the other night?
Trying to play him as an 8, I think.
Yeah, that's what
it doesn't work. Him and Adams don't work together. You need somebody with a bit of pace to work in and around him. And if he wants him to play deep like he is, it's just, I don't know. I'm not massively convinced by Adam Armstrong as a player, but he's just not settled here since he moved. And
we got interested in the summer.
Is it? I thought he probably needed a fresh start. Go and play somewhere else personally, but he could score goals in this division. Him and Adams should be scoring a bucket load of goals. But Shay Adams didn't. Shay Adams, I'm not sure if he really wants to be there. No, he obviously was desperate to get a move in the window. It didn't materialise. I think the club blocked a move to Wolves, and because they brought Ross Stewart in, and Ross Stewart's going to be injured. He's still injured.
Everton as well, I think mine he was linked to.
Yeah, I was surprised at Everton, one of them, saying they want some goals. He doesn't score a lot of Premier League goals. That's the one thing about Shay Adams.
This is the problem, though. This is a problem, isn't it, guys? When you've got a team coming down, and like you say, Martin, you've got a new manager coming in. And then you've got a lot of the players. They're having their agents in their ear, wanting them to leave. And I suppose now he's got the windows closed, so he knows who's he's got till January. But like you say, Shay Adams was hoping he was going to get a move, so he could be still.
His body language wasn't. His body language was like, yeah. There's another lad, if he starts, which I think he might play against you, is to look out for as a midfielder that he can play in the 8, is a lad called Carlos Alcaraz. He's very in and out. He's lost a bit of confidence at the minute, but I just think that he'll come back into the side, I would think, on Tuesday night. I think he's a player that probably should be in the starting 11 because he's got a little bit of spark about him. But like defensively, he's got to sort that out really quickly. You don't have a lot of time between the games, do you? That's the problem in this division. It's play, not a massive opportunity to train. And maybe that international break, I always said it was come at the wrong time for us after a 5-0 drubbing. Because you don't get that opportunity to work with the players. You could say they didn't get back in time and there isn't time to kind of go over it. But, I'm not panicking, but...
You're reaching for it. You're just finding out where it is.
Yeah, I'm just starting to ask questions. And I think there's a lot of fans down here that want him out already, which is unbelievable. I think it's early to call for a manager's head.
You've not been able to see the best of Flynn either, have you? He makes his debut in I think the 5-0, and then he got injured the other night. What's the latest on his injury then, Martin, with Flynn Downs?
I'm not sure how bad it is. We'll probably find out in the presser tomorrow. If there's a presser tomorrow, I think there will be. He struggled the other night. He looked lost in midfield alongside Smallbone. They need somebody. They were just so open because it just ends up on his own all the time. And just like Winks and their other midfielder, I can't think of his name. Is it Indeed? I can't think of who it was that played in midfield with him. It just they battered us in midfield.
Just over
they just
Dewsbury Hall, Indeed, Winks,
Indeed, they were good. Dewsbury Hall had the pass that he made for the second goal was. Just had too much time on the ball, and if you give people like him time on the ball, he's going to cause some problems. And from a Southampton's perspective, obviously, I've watched a fair bit of Ipswich. Who should we be looking out for? Obviously, Connor Chaplin's an ex-Portsmouth player. I'd have my odds on him scoring against us.
Well,
he started well, wasn't he? Who should we look out for?
I think Martin said there about the way that Southampton set up, guys. I think this is tailor-made for Wes Burns. Pace behind. The other night, he's got pace to burn. And Sheffield Wednesday yesterday, Matt, you know how they played, and we played on that right-hand side. So I think he's got a real big key to play in this game. I really do.
I don't know if you've seen Sheffield Wednesday since your game, Martin, but they were terrible against us Saturday. Absolutely terrible. And they didn't have Barry Bannon either. So they didn't have that kind of playmaker to put a pass together.
He's their best player, isn't he, Barry Bannon?
Oh, they look nailed on to finish bottom of the table.
Yeah. Could you have had a lot more goals? Could you score more goals?
Should have done. Yeah, I mean, we said in our podcast Sunday that it was what did you say, Rich? 1-0 Barring.
It was a comprehensive 1-0 win, Martin, as you're going to see. I know that's a strange thing to say, but they had 5 shots, 0 on target, and a goalie could have sat in a deck chair with his Bermuda shorts on all game.
You've had a wonderful start, but the football they play under McKenna's impressive. To come up and to keep the momentum going has been incredible. You must be like to see it sat where you are in the division. You must be wow.
Dreamland.
It come in the final third of the season last season, mine. Like, you know, we scored nearly 50 goals in the final third. And then you ask questions of whether, like you probably did when you went up under Adkins, can we carry this on into the championship? And, you know, first couple of months we have done. But I think Chaplin will be pivotal against you. And as Rich rightly says, the pace of Burns. Broadhead.
Yeah, again, Broadhead looks really good, doesn't he?
Got for a snip from Everton, 1.5 mil. You know, it looks like worth 10 times there at the moment.
I think George Hurst as well. Yeah. Sorry, Martin. I think George Hurst. If you've got two young centre backs who are a bit short on confidence, he will chase everything. There's no 50-50 in George.
Right in it. We're going to have two ex-Pompey players.
Yeah, it's just. I think he could be really pivotal against two young centre halves, Martin. I really do.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really interesting game. Really, it'd be whether Martin will set up and just try and keep it a bit tighter for the first 20 minutes, just letting goals in like, what is it, 23 seconds of the night. You just can't let goals in like that. We're 2-0 down at home. Yeah, 2-0 down at home inside 20 minutes. You know, when we got the goal back, I thought, here we go. Let's just see this out to half time. Let's be professional enough. You've got 6 players on the field, I think, that were in the Premier League last year. You just need to see it out. And they couldn't even do that. It was so naive. Just keep chucking your fullback so far up the field. Ryan Manning, he's come in. He's had a nightmare since he signed for us. He just plays so high up the field and in this inverted role. It just looks like it just doesn't work.
And you had people leaving the stadium after about 67 minutes. I mean, that's normally kind of, you know, not that you're going to be in that space, but that's normally like relegation. We had that under, you know, Paul Hurst.
Where I sat the other night, there was people that left at half time and never come back.
Wow.
3 people next to me never come back. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Score prediction then, Martin, before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday as we record this. What's your score prediction going to be?
I don't see anything other than us getting beaten. I think it'd be 3. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3-4-1 to you guys. I think it'd at least be 3-1. I feel that disillusioned after what I've seen in the last 2 games. I don't see him turning it around quick enough. I think we'll lose. Yeah, I think we'll lose.
Okay. Any other questions for Martin?
We can't let Martin go on such a downer. You have got a fantastic kit. You've got it behind you, haven't you?
Oh, it's a beauty, isn't it?
Denmark 86 vibes from Mexico World Cup. That's a great strip.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful shirt, actually. I really like it. Like the away one as well is really nice. They've done amazing with the kits, actually, this year. Yeah. I just hope that we can start seeing some proper performances. And just all I want to see from a football fan is a bit of fight and a bit of commitment. And that's all you ask for of your team. And when I'm paying good money to go and watch it and I don't see it, I find it infuriating.
Table, though. I know you watch them every week. You are 9th. You are on 10 points. You are only 5 points beyond us in 3rd. So if you get a victory against us, 2 points. So it can soon change around.
It can turn around quickly, can't it? I just think Leicester was the first big test for us as a side to play against. Sunderland, you could have said at the time, they'd had a bit of a tricky start. But I always thought it'd be interesting to see the matchup between 2 sides that got relegated that both want automatic promotion. Like the next few fixtures, we play yourselves with the head to Middlesbrough Saturday, and then we're back at home to Leeds United, who look really good today. I thought they were superb. I thought they were superb. A striker they brought in that we were linked with, he's fit, he's ready to go, and he's scoring goals, and they fire him up the league.
When's Ross Stewart going to be fit, Martin?
It could be in it, but he's not played for 6 months apparently. The injury's pretty nasty. It could be another few weeks. They say. I don't think we'll see anything of him during October. I just think
decent money for him, haven't you? Decent wage.
It's a lot of money for somebody that you won't see for a while, isn't it? When you want automatic promotion to the Premier League, you want your goals instantly right now, and that's the only reason Shea Adams stayed, I believe, because they know that he's going to be a little bit longer than they may be letting on. Sorry, I've been so negative.
No.
I feel like I've been really negative. But
you're perfectly great. Thanks for dropping.
I've been honest. I've been totally honest. I'm 41 years old. I've watched football for a long time. Yeah, just be
Martin.
honest.
That's what his platform's all about: honesty and opinions. Whatever
it's a great show.
Be, so.
Best show I've been on for a long time. Really professional. So thanks
very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day and look after yourself.
Man, Martin, all the best.
Have a great season starting Saturday. All right.
Thank you.
Look after yourself. Bye-bye. What do you make of that then, gentlemen? I mean, I wasn't quite expecting that, but I'm quite happy. I'm quite excited.
I suppose to be expected when you're letting 9 over 2 games and 4 of them